the Victory Studios in downtown Little Rock, this is Capitol View.
And welcome to this week's Capitol View. I'm your host, Roby Brock, as always. Thanks for joining us. This week, we sit down with Congressman French Hill to discuss a host of issues ranging from the wilderness of Arkansas to the wildness of Russia. But first, as part of our ongoing 10-year celebration of Capitol View, I catch up this week with former host David Goins, who helped launch the program a decade ago. Everybody who does not know, catch us up on what you have been up to since you hosted Capitol View 10 years ago. You moved to Dallas and were a reporter there for a long time. And tell me what you got your fingers in these days.
Oh my gosh, 10 years ago. Yeah, so left Capitol View and Little Rock, about 8 years ago. Have been in Dallas since, been in TV news pretty much most of that time. Stepped away from one TV station a couple years ago to look for other things, and got kind of pulled back in. So I'm still doing freelance journalism here in the Dallas market with the NBC affiliate here, which is fun. But I've also added some classroom teaching because, Roby, you know how much I love government, history, economics. So get to do a little bit of that in a K through 12 setting. And I've also added some high school sports officiating. So still in the journalism game very much, but doing some other things too and enjoying it.
Awesome. Well, if you weren't getting yelled enough at for being on TV, you get yelled at for officiating some sports games there too. So
that's true. Being a journalist, a sports official, and a teacher is kind of the holy trinity of getting the grief, but it's good.
All right. I want to go back to how Capitol View started. When Fox 16 was acquired by Nexstar and it merged with KARK, they brought the two newsrooms together. You and I were in limbo for quite a while there, not knowing how this was all going to play out. And the news director, Austin Kellerman, comes to us with this idea for a pure politics TV show on Sunday mornings. It did not have a name. My quiz for you is, do you remember how we named Capitol View?
Did we see the Capitol outside of Austin's office and just say Capitol View? I don't know.
No.
Because it was close.
No, we were charged with coming up with a name for it. I worked all weekend and came up with about 100 different potential names for the show. And I wasn't really enamored with any of them. And so I pitched them to you, and you said one that wasn't even on the list. You go, what if we just call it Capitol View? And I was like, that's it. That's the name of the show. So you named it. And it was just on a whim after I spent an entire weekend brainstorming ideas for us to pitch back and forth. I think you pulled one out of your pocket, and it was the one that stuck.
Roby, that anecdote is pretty illuminating of probably our work styles. You were definitely prepared, and I was like, well, let's just try this, see how that goes. So I think that's what made the pairing so fun. Like, I always enjoyed like that back and forth of like of just, you know, your preparation and just kind of the whatever would happen in live TV or you know, live interview with whoever we had on set. So that's good memories there.
Well, I have good memories too, and I loved working with you, and I have missed working with you all these years. So it was a great partnership and some very good times. Let's maybe refer to some of your times in some of those interviews. Any interviews kind of stand out for you as notable? Any that you?
I mean, Capitol View was it was a whirlwind because it was every Friday, and once it started, the train never stopped until, you know, I left for another opportunity. Probably in 2014, one that stands out for me, it was the governor's race, and it was, you know, primary season, and so you're going to get a variety of candidates who want to run. And I think we were certainly back then when the show started, I think we had a lot of runway space for candidates who probably were not going to get much traction, but nonetheless, if they're on the ballot, if they're going to be in front of voters, that was kind of our commitment. Like, hey, let's give them something. You know, they don't have to be polling at a certain percentage to get airtime. So I think we were interviewing, or at least I was interviewing a candidate named Doc Bryant, who was running for governor on the Democrat ticket in 2014, and I'm pretty sure she made her appearance on Capitol View in a bathrobe. I mean, more than that, but a bathrobe is kind of the outer jacket. And there were some props involved. May have been hygiene related, dental care. no one's really sure because I'm not sure if the video still exists, but it definitely did happen, and that was definitely a unique experience.
I can assure you the video does not still exist because I've been combing some archives trying to find some of the footage from those early days, and it's been erased permanently wherever it was. So
I'm telling you, man, our digital world from like 2011 on, it's you hear all these old guys older than me, older than you talk about 3/4 inch tape. Well, at least the physical media is still there. Some of that stuff from that kind of earlier part of the teens or the decade is hard to find.
do you still get to cover any politics in what you're doing now? And what are Dallas and Texas politics like compared to Arkansas?
Well, definitely done some special session stories because nothing's the only thing better than a regular session, Roby, as you know, are multiple special sessions. So that's what's happening in Texas right now. I'm not the primary political reporter anymore for the NBC affiliate, but we have kind of been touching on the various special sessions here in Texas, and we have a lieutenant governor, or excuse me, an attorney general that's going to go on trial for an impeachment later on this summer. So that could be interesting to watch, see how long that goes on. So yeah, most of the politics I covered in Dallas and have covered in Dallas has been more city based. So a lot of city of Dallas politics and city of Fort Worth, the various municipalities in North Texas have a pretty good political stuff to cover. So it's a variety of not only just state stuff, but also city stuff too.
That's David Goins, one of the founders of this program, Capital View. Looks like he's doing great. It was great to catch up with him.